Welcome to another Thursday evening live stream, legends. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. Bitcoin looks like shit to me right now. Yes, there's possibilities that we see relief rallies. There's a couple of reasons why I see a couple of reasons why I think that there could be a relief rally right away. But honestly, just as a whole, the market does not look great to me at this time. Currently, my scalp position, I was just telling you guys about this. I took a bit of a position here. My reasoning for that is I actually never ended up getting the exact signal that I wanted. So I only entered with a quarter of a position. And basically, what I wanted to see after, getting our RSI so overbought like this. Now, and I should be clear about this, I don't always think that necessarily means overbought because it is the relative strength index. If we were more bullish on the market, I wouldn't have taken this signal all too serious. But since we are in a heavy downtrend, I am looking at these as being overbought conditions, whereas oversold, I don't really think that's necessarily true. Yes, we could absolutely squeeze to the upside a bit, but I just don't look at these overextended conditions the same as I am with these. So anyways, I just put a quarter of my position in. I was actually looking to add into that position if we would have got some kind of bounce back up to a Stuber fib, double top, whatever, and get that exact RSI divergence that I've been talking about on the weekly chart. And that would be basically if the RSI did something like this, we go for a double top, RSI comes down here and then gets a retest of basically the 70 line, right? It's just a very specific bearish divergence that I like looking for. And that's why I've been so incredibly bearish on the weekly chart, which I will go over in a second as well. But that's really what I was looking for a bigger position. Unfortunately, the market just couldn't even rally a little bit. It just straight nuke from there, and we just keep setting a series of lower highs, lower lows. So I just went over this with you guys. I just set half my stop loss at 58,177. Just because, if we break this lower high structure here on the immediate trend, I'm treating this as the 1 minute scalp that it is. I'm willing to close half my position. The rest of it would get stopped out at break. Even if we do get some sort of a relief rally, boom, I'm happy. Whatever profits are secure if that happens. But I want at least half that position running with that break even stop as long as I can, because I just think that there's so much potential for big downside movement in this market these days. I mean, I've been warning you guys since I think it was June 13th. I posted this video, the Bitcoin chart nobody wants to see, and that's where I started talking about the weekly chart and why I was so bearish on it. And I've been trading with a bearish bias ever since. A lot of people on social media and stuff like that are challenging my opinions about that. And you know what? I can promise that I am happier trading the downside the last couple of weeks than those people are having that hopium of, just spot buying tons of, meme coins that are just getting nuked and stuff like that. That hopium, it's not the time in the market cycle for that, in my opinion. Yes, I still hold some altcoins. I never sold my whole portfolio. I sold about 10% of my portfolio up at around 68K. And you know what? I don't regret that. Whereas had I ignored all of the signals that I pointed out on the weekly chart, if I completely ignored that and did nothing bearish at all, I would have been so upset with myself, because you guys, like, I know I go over this lately quite a bit in some of the posts, but as far as a video explanation here, there's so many red flags on this chart. I can't even tell you how bearish I am right now. It's actually, and obviously this is not financial advice. Do your own research, form your own opinions. Like I said, I am not completely out of the market by any means. I just see reasons why there could very easily be a significant move to the downside. And it is to numbers that nobody wants to hear and people will not agree with me on. And that's totally fair, because structure can do anything, right? All the structure has to do for me to change my opinion is change the structure. So if we set, another lower low and then another lower low, we now have a confirmed lower high. And if we can then change the market structure and do something like that, You know, I'll change my tune and think that, you know, at least maybe we're going to retest these areas. If not, the downtrend might even actually be broken at that point. And that's when, you know, if we have that structure change, and a lot of people will be looking to unload their bags if they get a second chance. But depending how the structure actually forms, this level is completely different depending how that forms, you know. If on the other side of that, if right now, let's say we just get some sort of a bounce like this, I'd actually be quite bearish in that case, because there hasn't really been a change in this structure. And, you know, I'm just going to turn off the wicks once again because it's a little easier to see. But I go over this every single week with you guys. This is basically my favorite kind of a structure break, right? Is where we have these nice tight ones like this, where we have, and I know a lot of people think this is micro analyzing, but this is just looking at the immediate trend. We had this high, higher high, that's our higher low, higher high, higher low. This is the level that a lot of people are watching, but I think a lot of people are overlooking the fact that, you know, we did actually set a higher high with this candle close, confirming this higher low here. And I think a lot of people missed that. And honestly, I did for the first month or so, but about 3 or 4 weeks ago, I started seeing that, and I didn't even want to talk about it because I knew that people would be so against what I had to say, but I mentioned it. We went over it. We got that structure break. What's something else that I talked to you guys about with those setups, right? Whenever I consider this a 5-minute chart, right? You guys know I love posting this on the 5-minute. That when we get that structure break, I'm going to look for a Fibonacci pull. And you guys know exactly where I'm going with this. It's going to be that 786, 886 Fib retrace from where we topped out to down where we got that little bit of a bounce after our structure break. And look where we got rejected. Absolutely perfect. The candle bodies did not get above the 786. We just wicked and perfectly filled that pocket basically. So I mean, that's a classic Stuber fib setup. I go over those every single week. Yes, generally I'm taking them on the 5-minute. Market structure acts the same, whether it's a weekly chart, a daily chart, 4-hour, 15-minute, 5-minute, 1-minute. Market structure generally runs the same. So when I saw this on a weekly chart, I got incredibly bearish. And you guys know, you know, I was expecting all-time highs about 3 or 4 weeks ago. But I flipped my tune, I think, basically at the perfect time. You know, as soon as I noticed that change in structure, we got that fib retest. We lost this upward sloping diagonal trend line. I know not everybody likes diagonal trend lines, but you guys know that I like them as long as they have accurate touch points and at least 3 of them. You can see that we got at least 3 touch points, and this is a weekly trend line, you guys. Big candle close below that. I mean, just nothing about this looks good to me. I mean, this candle body, this weekly candle, obviously it does have a couple days left, so anything can happen. I'll fully admit that, you know, this can all be invalidated very quickly, but let's just turn off the wicks again. Let's just remove these fibs. Let's just look at this level. I mean, like I said, candle closes matter a lot more than wicks. I mean, does this look like a healthy candle to you when you take off the wicks from back here? This looks like shit, you guys. I don't know. Tell me if I'm wrong, but how do you guys feel about this weekly chart? I am so bearish on this chart. There's so much going on with this that I do not like to see. And just to kind of show you, and obviously this does not have to happen again. Let's just see, how big of a move did we get? So, oh yeah, I never even mentioned this. So then we got that RSI divergence that I said I was watching for on that 1-minute setup, right? Here, what I was looking for, never ended up getting it. Here on the weekly, we did. And that's just like what I said, right? We have a structure break. We pull back to a Stuber fib, double toppy area. We get that exact, you know, overextended RSI down towards that 70 level and just absolutely nuke. So there's so many things, just so many red flags there. And so far, yeah, we have dumped somewhere around 20%, 18%. Just looking back at the previous times we've had this type of setup. Again, does not have to happen again, but you can see how this has triggered some very serious corrections in the market in the past. We have those same tight consolidations, you lose structure, get that exact bearish RSI divergence, end up breaking that diagonal support. Same thing here, Then we had our COVID nuke. Same thing up here. We got that immediate 50% correction. Then we ended up actually rallying, getting the same signal again. Look at this. We basically got a double top in last market cycle, and we got that same RSI divergence. So we actually had that setup play out twice last market cycle, and that's a signal that I just cannot ignore right now, you guys. There's nobody who can convince me right now that this chart is bullish. I mean, I welcome you to try and convince me that it is, but I really just can't be bullish on this chart. Yes, fundamentally, it always feels like this market cycle's different. There's way more adoption. There's bigger players in the space. There's ETFs. Yes, absolutely. But do you think those players really want what's best for you? No, they're going to do whatever they have to do. And, if what they are doing is going to affect the price the way we want to see it move, then the charts are going to show that. The structure will break to the upside. Like, all it takes at this point is for me to get a higher high, and I am back into bull market mode. Absolutely carry on with the trend. That's the thing. I'm not saying this has to absolutely nuke. I'm just saying that that's what I'm expecting. And honestly, I don't even know if I think that it's necessarily the end of the market cycle. I'm not saying it's time for a bear market, but I think there's just some red flags basically right with this signal and everything lining up with those four things. I just can't be overly bullish at this time. I'm sorry, that's just kind of how it is. So yeah, that basically leads me to why I'm in a couple short positions right now. I was just talking about one that I'm actually up currently 618%. Let's go to the hourly chart and I'll show you exactly why I took this trade. Notice the RSI here. Do you see where I'm going with this pattern, you guys? This is the 1 hour chart. This is what led me to start shorting the shit out of it again. I saw on crypto Twitter, people were saying, oh, that was it. That was the final flush. It's back to parabola from here. And everybody was really getting, well, it's a sucker's rally, right? We got that same RSI divergence. We got a structure break. We got our pullback to the Stuber Fibonacci pocket there. And we got that RSI divergence, that exact over conditions down to 70. And look at that nuke. I've showing it on the 1 minute chart, the hourly chart, the 5 minute chart, and now the weekly chart, you guys. Why would this act any different? If anything, longer time frames play out more accurately because there's a lot more weight behind them. So that's a lot of momentum, you guys, and that's my main concern with Bitcoin right now. I just can't be bullish right now. That being said, I do want to talk about possible scenarios. Let's just hop over to even the 4 hour. Oh yeah, even like that just doesn't look good to me. I would want to see us reclaim this level here at least. Actually, I'd be looking at more so even to actually reclaim this box and start trending to the upside. Yeah, even just some sort of a 4 hour close basically above this high here, I could at least entertain the idea of some sort of a recovery. Like I said, I don't think it's going to last, even if we trade sideways or even up a little bit for a couple, 2 to 3 weeks. Because that's the thing, guys. It's a weekly chart, right? This isn't a 5 minute chart. It's going to take a long time to play out. When I go over the targets that nobody wants to hear, I'm not saying that's happening this week or next week, anything like that, right? This chart's going to take a long time to play out if that theory does even play out. So yeah, basically I could entertain the idea of some sort of a rally if we end up reclaiming some of these levels. But as it stands right now, we haven't. So I can't be, I just can't be bullish on the price yet. Let's say we make, here we have our low, because here we had a lower low. If we set another lower low, then we would have a new lower high. So then that's where I'd basically move my lower high, right? And then, then if we break that kind of a structure, then, hey, I'm open to the idea of a bullish move again. And that's kind of what I'm saying, guys, is these levels that I'm going to mention on the weekly chart here, they're possible is all I'm saying. I'm not saying they're probable, because we can have that sort of a structure change that changes everything. That's totally fine. But as it stands right now, treating this like a regular Stuber setup, and I've showed you guys on so many different time frames how I like to play those over the last several months or over a year at this point. Let's just go for where I'd be looking at this reversal possibly taking us to, and you guessed it, a possible Stuber fib. That's why I say I don't think anybody wants to hear the possibility that we could nuke all the way down towards 28, even 20,000. All I'm saying is it's absolutely possible. We've seen this type of movement in the past. I mean, let's go to this last market cycle. Just pulling from market bottom to market top, where we got the same signal there. Look where we end up finding support, you guys. We wicked just below the 886 candle bodies, respected that 786, and then it was straight moon time, right? We kind of just have the opposite right now, where, you know, we're losing that structure. We lost that 786. Now we're probably, well, I shouldn't say probably, but there's just the possibility in the charts that we do target some of these incredibly low levels. Maybe it takes some sort of a black swan event to happen. I don't know, you guys. And again, I'm not saying we're going to those levels. Just understand that if this was a 5-minute chart or a 1-hour chart, I would absolutely be open to that possibility. You know, in fact, I actually posted a picture on the 1-hour chart a couple days ago with you guys in the Discord, where I was basically looking at support, and it was a diagonal trend line, and if it dropped, I was looking at a drop towards a Stuber fib setup, and we absolutely got it while I was asleep, I believe it was. But it was basically this type of a chart, but it was a 1-hour setup, and yeah, we absolutely, in fact, we went a lot further than that. I personally think that if we get there on a weekly, I'm not really expecting it to go much lower, but obviously who knows what happens, right? I personally think if we target these levels, and guys, this is kind of this is the light at the end of the tunnel, I guess, is if we get down towards these levels, I think that there is going to be an insane amount of buying pressure. In fact, if we start, you know, if we lose basically this range as support, I'm going to be setting limit buys, because I do not think I'll have time, even with an alert set. There's a good chance I won't have time to check my phone, because I would expect it to get bought up extremely fast. And I think in that case, there is the potential for some nice spot buys that would be in a profit very quickly. Obviously doesn't have to happen. That's just kind of some theories that I'm tossing around right now, just what I'm planning to do with the market moving forward. So yeah, I don't know. I personally can't be bullish on this chart, you guys. Sorry to say it, but that's basically what's leading me towards trading the short side lately. And yeah, that being said, let's hop into some more degen timeframes. Let's kind of see what happens in the charts. Let's take a look at the 1 minute. Let's babysit this position. Yeah, again, anybody else in any positions? Anybody scalping this as well? Anybody in a nice swing trade? You might take a hedge long at 57. I'm waiting. I guess I'm gonna have to see how the price reacts. If we get some sort of a structure break followed by a Stuber fib on, let's say, a 5-minute or something, I might take a stab at a bit of a hedge long. I'm really not entertaining the idea of any serious longs until either a structure break or down towards that. Basically, I'm looking at anywhere from 48 to 53K being a very important range, just because 48 would be where the price got rejected after the ETF approval, and that was just kind of a short-term market reversal. And yeah, and then up to 53, that would be basically these, or yeah, basically this little bit of structure that I was pointing out earlier. This would just be the next level that had any sort of paused price action and consolidation in this uptrend other than way down here. So I don't know how strong this level is going to be, to be honest, you guys. One thing that I do like about it, let me just add, I believe it is, where is my 382? 38 stew. Yeah, whatever. So generally speaking, in a real strong trend, the 382 fib actually gets respected a lot of the time. So that is a fib. I've talked about that a lot in the past. I don't really use it for trade setups all that much, to be honest, but just as far as spotting trending markets, quite often the 382 will be respected in a strong trend. Basically, if we start losing that, that's where I just assume we're dropping down towards the 786, 886. That's kind of how I look at shorter time frames a lot of the time. So that's kind of how I'm looking at this. So there is the 382 right in line with this little structure level here. So I do expect some sort of a reaction here. I personally think that if we get a reaction there, I don't necessarily think it's going to last very long before we see an even bigger nuke. But we're going to have to see what the chart gives us, right? I mean, at that point, I'm not trading the weekly chart specifically, more so just using it to come up with a bias so that I enter short positions like this, right? So this is that recent scalp that I was talking about earlier. What kind of market structure do we have? I'm actually... we did close below this wick here. You know what? I'm actually going to drop the lower high to this level just because you can see after we lost this low here, we set a lower low and a lower low. Highest point between the two would be right here. Very micro analyzing, guys, but just looking at exact structure, exactly how it is there, and just kind of helping myself make sure that I take profits, right? So basically, I'm going to give myself to up here. You know what? Basically, like 58,013. I'm going to update that half stop loss too, just to make sure that I take some profits there if we break back above 58. That's how I'm scalping, you guys. Basically with the first half of my position when I'm just chasing structure like this. Oh yeah, here we go. See, that's why I'm not taking profits yet necessarily, but as soon as we break structure, I want to be closing half my position. But yeah, this is just going too good to close at this point. Let me just adjust my stop loss on half my position. 57 or 58,013. I just want to check what my other 634.75% on that 1 hour trade. That's a runner. See, and that's why I always, like I said, I only have about a quarter of that position still open, you guys. Basically, I start any position as if it's a scalp. I'm usually very quick to close half of my position, and then I hope to catch a runner with a break-even stop loss with the other half, basically, because I'm not banking on hitting a home run trade, because you're just going to wreck yourself if you keep assuming that every trade is going to be a trending trade. Generally speaking, the market will chop sideways more than it's going to be trending. So that's why it's important to play the range first. Whatever range I'm playing, that's where I'm taking profits on the first half of my position. And if I catch a runner like this, great. Yeah, that's a way up there. So yeah, I'm just planning to babysit this trade for a little bit as the structure changes. Like right now, I'm not considering this a lower high yet, but if we end up taking out this low and creating a lower low, then I can move this yellow line, right? I would adjust my because that would be the highest point between the low and the lower low then. So that's what I'd be looking at as the lower high. But that hasn't happened yet. So yeah, with that first half of the position, I'm just going to keep chasing these lower highs with half of my stop loss because I want to make sure I pay myself. Oh, lady dump you. What's going on, Smallio? Thump, I have my stop loss set on my position, but then I also have a conditional order on half my position. Sorry, a trigger order. So basically, if we break above this, break the trend that I'm watching, then I'm going to close. It'll automatically close half my position. But yeah, how is everyone else feeling? Anybody excessively bullish, buying the hell out of this dip? Are you looking at it more like I am? Are you guys scared, excited? What are the vibes here? Oh, I got to catch up on some messages here. 28K Black Swan. Yeah, exactly. That would... We'd have to see, obviously, but I could see it happening. Maybe something with war or something with the election. Who knows? All theoretical at this point, obviously. No 618. Honestly, I don't use the 618 fib very much. I find that it's respected a lot with candle bodies, but so often, even when it is, it'll wick down to the 786. So just to control risk management, just to control the stop loss a little more, I usually stick to the 786 more so. That's just me personally. Anxious as fuck. That's fair. You know, I don't know how many market cycles you've been in, if this is your first, if this is your second or third. But yeah, I'm honestly excited. I want to see us nuke. For one, I've never felt this ready for a big reversal like this. Well, other than down here, actually. This market cycle called the reversal's pretty good on the macro time frame, and I feel like this might be that one. Again, I don't know. I strongly believe there's going to be another push out of this bull market. I don't think it's the bull market top, but this signal, I'm just playing it for what it is. This is a bearish as hell signal in my books, and I can't ignore it. So that's where I stand on the price. Ooh, you know, lady dump you there. Me and the old lady were actually just talking about doing that as well. Not tonight, but soon. Forgot I had a Christmas present from my brother. So yeah, I guess. And there we go again, right? Okay, there's a lower low, so I'm actually going to update that half stop loss again. I'm going to leave a little wiggle room, so I'm actually going to do about 57888. Will be that half stop loss. Give me a second to update that. And that's the thing with the way I scalp, guys, is, again, it's very reactive, right? Yeah, I'm absolutely changing my orders every few minutes here. As structure changes, I'm changing where my half stop loss is because I just want to make sure that I take some profits, but it just keeps... Notice how accurate the charts are respected even on a 1 minute like this. Just looking at those lower high levels that I've been pointing out, I mean, they've just been respected so well. Oh boy. Here we go. Send it. Nuke this Ponzi. You love it. You love to see it. Is anyone else as excited about this this bearish reversal as I am? I'm loving, you know, because that's the thing, guys. As traders, it doesn't matter which way the market goes. Volatility is volatility. As long as it's volatile, I am having a good time. Yeah, excitement. There we go. Yeah, it's funny. Like most people in the space are scared right now and very concerned, and I'm concerned it's going to reverse too fast. I just want to see, because that's the thing, right? Like bears generally play very aggressively. You know, you can see from the short I took, like I said, I never even got a chance to add to my position like I was planning to. The market just went straight down. The fear is real. Fear is a lot stronger than greed, and you see it in the charts. Look how slow we trend up, even with FOMO in the markets. People are really scared to miss this dip, and still look at the basically the strength of the moves, right? Look how slow we grind to the upside, and look how fast we just absolutely fucking nuke. 30K black swan, man. If there's a black swan, I think we're going lower. I have a feeling 20 if it is a black swan. I think that we would go just past the 886. Just a feeling, just a gut feeling. You know, there's a chance the 786 is front ran a little bit. I noticed that happening yesterday, actually, in both directions. The 786 was getting front run a little bit on reactions. Maybe it's you guys. But you know, if that 786 doesn't hold, I think it's straight nuke to 886, and I truly believe that again the candle bodies are going to be closing just above the 786, just like going back to this cycle, right? Same signal, same fib, same type of reaction, right? Wick, fill it, and candle bodies respecting it. These signals are no joke, you guys. The last several with those four, I think it was four confluences, it's a serious reversal signal in my eyes. 18K still untested. Isn't there a CME gap at like 9K or 9,400 or something? I remember people were not willing to buy because it was like $30 away. That was like a couple cycles ago. You know what? I'm gonna just close a quarter of my position right now. And then that other order I'm gonna change to the other quarter. So I'll still only close half if we break past my yellow line there. 57888. And that way I know that I locked in. Oh, let me reload this here. Quarter of my position at 61% here. I'll take it. Times 69. We're getting close to 700 here. Yeah, I had heard today that the May low was tested, and yeah, this just, oh god, oh boy, oh my god. Don't know if there's any Chris Farley fans out there, but Oh man, like this is another thing. I think Jay is actually working on a video with the auto charting tools, and I did a little section on it talking about using these signals for pulling fibs. And here's a perfect example. Yeah, it was actually a perfect double top, but with that lower high signal printed to where we bottomed out and bounced there. Look at that. If you had entered on the Stuber fib, boom, beautiful setup there. So that is one thing to consider, that, you know, right now we do have that higher low printed, but like this just, oh God. We got 12 minutes here, fellas. Let's let's see let's see what happens. That is not looking good.
So okay, so that I've made that back in the margin bet here, which is good.
Oh, Lord Drake, you're on the air. Yeah, I don't know, guys. As far as the daily chart here, I mean, it really looks to me, unless there's a crazy recovery here in the next couple minutes, quick little $1,000 pump. It looks like we're going to close below these candle bodies. I mean, technically not below these wicks, so there is still this little double bottom here potentially. It just, I don't know, just nothing looks great to me. I did see the Price GPT had a thing with fibs and structure breaks. It didn't pick out exactly how I do mine. It was close, and I think it would still be helpful. But just the way I do them, I personally like using the auto charting tools and as well my own type of structure breaks, I guess. I saw a few that actually worked out very well with it. I was only watching it for about a week or so, but I did see a couple that were very well respected. Even the invalidations, everything was looking good. Just a lot of them weren't quite how I normally do them, so I just stick to what I know. I'm a simple brain. I keep things simple. I draw on colorful charts and I trade them. um, yeah, still. See, I'm not even really going to consider this a higher high. I mean, yeah, it looks like we might get some sort of a bounce here, but like this is still the lower high that I'm watching. Just because I'm looking at this as low, lower low, highest point between the two is here. But I wouldn't be surprised to test up to there right away. Actually, let's check what auto charting tools are saying. Is my screen froze for everybody? I assume that is that an inverted chart you just shared? Is my screen frozen for everybody or just for Thump? Okay, perfect. Whew. Scared me. Yeah, see, we're already seeing weakness again. Just, oh, God, this does... Okay, we have, what, 9 minutes till daily close here? Oh, boy. You guys, I'll actually be doing more of these type of live streams fairly soon, where kind of more looking at the shorter time frames and just really live analyzing things. I'm gonna be doing some videos and actually promoting these indicators and stuff like that on Financial Summits YouTube channel. So I'm gonna hopefully be starting doing that this weekend. So that's something to look forward to if you want to see some more StewTube on the air. That'll be a public channel. Yeah, still. Well, You know, technically, I bet that's a Stuber fib. Well, it doesn't have the structure break that I personally like to see, but it is a 786 reaction. I don't really have a heck of a lot else that I wanted to talk about. I'm just interested to babysit this position a little bit. I'd like to just let this stream run until we actually lose lower high, and then I can close, another quarter of my position, then let half of it run, and whatever, I'll carry on with my evening. Yeah, I was mostly just looking forward to babysitting that trade, talk about this macro time frame, just how serious of a signal I truly believe this is. But I think I got my main points across. Check out a few more indicators, I suppose. Our W's are still technically trending to the upside. I have a feeling that if we saw some sort of a bounce, we would actually end up seeing a lower high W come into play at this point. If that happens, that's just another little bit of confluence, potentially just showing potential reversal. That would be very natural to see that kind of a thing come into the charts, just given everything we've got right now. Trend collection, we are right at the support level of this indicator. I will give it that. This trend has held for quite some time. So yeah, it's absolutely possible that we get some sort of a reaction here. Notice actually, basically the invalidation level of this trend indicator. It lines up bang on that 382 fib. Absolutely bang on. So just a little more confluence there that we might be targeting that level. And that's around 51.5K, you guys. So that's still actually a significant move to the downside if we get that. Auto charting tools, yeah, way below May. Just not looking good. Not gonna lie. Let's see what price GPT. Oh, I think I changed some settings and whatnot. That's lining up down with around 46K. That'd be our VWAP, I believe. I haven't played with that indicator very much yet. Or just a little bit, but liquidations, on the weekly, I mean, that's hard to read. There's a ton of liquidity down below. Let's put it that way. I think it absolutely, that's just something else going for us here too, you guys. That kind of 22K was the 886 over here. I mean, I could absolutely see us grabbing some of this blue liquidity down here. It's scary. It's scary. Half American, half British on the 4th. There you go. Defeat or victory, which side? Neither. Canadian. That's funny. We just had our Canada Day a few days ago. My celebrations are over. Four minutes till that daily close. I think we can say with confidence that we're closing below the candle bodies over here. That's not looking great. See if we can find some sort of a wedge. Just looking at connecting a few dots here. Maybe that would give us a little bit of support somewhere on here for a third touch point. Also kind of lining up with this structure back here. Which was also, actually, that would line up also with that 53 down towards 51K. I mean, I think that would make a lot of sense. There's a lot of things lining up for this level to be tested, you guys. Every way I look at the chart, it just seems like we're targeting lower. Liquidations on the 4-hour. Yeah, they're starting to be to the upside, hey? Yeah, and you know, again, there is a few reasons why I agree that we could get some sort of a reaction rally. A dead cat bounce is my opinion. I think that even if we trade to the upside or slightly sideways for a couple weeks, I really feel like there is a bigger nuke coming. I really don't think this was it. But I honestly, at this point, I don't know if we're going to get that bounce. Again, when I turn off the wicks on this chart, I mean, this just does not look good. There's so many things wrong with this chart. People have been saying the last few days that, oh, we're at a critical support level. No, we're not. That time has come and gone. In my opinion. I think the next serious support is down here. I mean, on the weekly chart, the candle bodies you can see are important levels. But honestly, you guys, I just can't help but feel like we're going to be targeting those lower Stuber fibs. But we'll see. Yeah, not a lot of strength. Even the 1 minute can't rally you. Like, this is trash. Throw it in the trash. The heat map I used was just the liquidations, MDX Trendmaster liquidations. It doesn't always show up on the shorter time frames. Oh, it's loading. Starting to see some late shorters, high leverage liquidity to the upside a little bit. Will it matter? I don't know. There's so much fear in the market right now. This, like, the thing is, even if you were to argue that, hey, we're coming down to support right now, yes, I'll give you that. We are coming down to support right now, but we're not, approaching support. We are coming at support with momentum. So is it going to hold? I don't know. It just looks it looks risky to me to be on the long side of things. I don't know. I'm just playing the trend. We do have a nice RSI divergence on the 1 minute here, but I'm just not really interested in looking for longs right now, honestly. I think they're going to be so short-lived. I think, yeah, absolutely. Right now we might get some sort of a pump up to here, but I bet that's about it. As far as entering a short now, being it's a little bit late and we are kind of overextended on the RSI, I wouldn't be shorting right here. I think that would be risky. I think looking for some, and this is also if you're into trading the 1 minute, right? Because understand, in a 1 minute, if you're entering on a 1 minute, you got to be taking profits and setting your stop losses on a 1 minute. You're not entering a 1 minute position hoping for a 4-hour swing, right? But basically, if we came up to this level, I would probably set, if I was looking to enter up there, I'd be more so setting an alert on that structure line and then seeing if we get some sort of a failed break. Like we just kind of test it with a wick and we're closing candles below it, RSI's looking overextended, stuff like that. Then I'll be looking at taking it, or I won't be because I'm already in a couple shorts. But that's kind of how I would approach that as far as looking for a reaction at that level. Not necessarily just setting a blind order there. I don't really like setting blind orders at levels just because, if the RSI's only made half of its move as we approach that level, just maybe there's more fuel in the tank and I kind of want to see how it reacts with that level at that point, right? But yeah, as far as that goes, that's kind of the level I'm watching on the 1 minute for now, as far as a lower high. But if we set another lower low, then I'm going to get to adjust that down to this level. Again, just just reacting rather than predicting. I mean, I guess I am kind of predicting as well, but waiting to be ready to react, basically. Trading the 1 minute chart is a very reactive, and I'm going to say sport because you damn right I break a sweat sometimes. But yeah, depending how this structure changes, then we'll, maybe we will get a lower high that we can start watching then. Just to show you how I would do it personally. If this is the level I'm looking at shorting, I would be setting an alert there and go once per minute, just so that as soon as that level is tested, my phone is going to annoy the hell out of me until I check it. That's kind of how I go with my approach when I'm looking at trend lines and seeing how they're respected. I just set alerts on them and see how it gets tested. With Stuber Fib setups, I'm more likely to just set limit orders. But as far as trading trend lines, I'm more so looking at those swing fails, fake outs, liquidity grabs, whatever you want to call them. Yeah, just more weakness. The Bulls are just not having an easy time. Nothing in the chart in any time frame screams, hey, there's strength here. Yeah. Ugh. Oh, God. Just every time I see it, it's just... I'm reminded of it. Yuck. Okay, so I'm actually going to move my lower high down a little bit. Just because we had this low and we got a slightly lower low. So that other quarter my position is going to be... I'll go 57388 will be that partial stop loss. Give me a minute to update that, and as well, let's check out the daily close. Oh, God. Dear 8-pound, 10-ounce baby Jesus. Yeah, there's a lot of people on crypto Twitter and stuff like that who are, very set on the idea that this is just their final flush. This is just your flush. Well, and maybe it is the final flush, whatever. But people saying that, oh, you gotta have, what's the word I'm looking for? When you're willing to hold something. Conviction. Oh, you gotta have conviction, blah, blah, blah. It's like, well, at a certain point, yeah, sure, like I said, I still hold most of my spot bags, but just to be bullish for the sake of being a part of a bullish community echo chamber, that's not how you trade. Hawktois, yeah, I bought a little Hawktois on day one. I got a quick 80% out of it, I think, something like that, and I still hold a couple just because it's funny, but it's not a serious amount. It's just to remind myself in my wallet. Yeah, diamond hands feel cool, feel like you're part of our community. Yeah, it's just be careful who you listen to, you guys. That includes me. But, anyone who's going to tell you that, hey, this is exactly what's going to happen, this is for sure going to happen, I would rather listen to the guy who's given me a couple options that, hey, if this happens, this is what I expect. Hey, if this happens, this is what I expect. Again, the game of investing versus trading are two very different things. And as far as trading goes, it's a reactive thing. You just have to see how the structure forms, what the indicators say. You can predict because of how it looks currently. For example, me predicting we're going to go a lot lower in the next couple of months. But it doesn't have to happen, and that's why I said there's invalidations. As soon as structure breaks on shorter time frames, I'm going to adjust my my outlook for the time being, right? It's all whatever happens in the chart. Getting a nice little reaction there. Oh, I still have to update that partial stop loss. Forgive me. Give me a second. 5-7. What did I say? 388. Actually, I'll go slightly higher. Okay, stop losses are in place. I can breathe. SBF convincing people in prison to buy FTT. That'd be funny. You might be right. I have no idea. Um, yeah, guys, that weekly or that daily close, sorry, does not look good in my opinion. I mean, looking at our candle body closes before. Oh, boy. Not good. Like I said, still technically double bottom territory, but the way that closes, I don't like that. Anyone else in any scalps? Scalpy scalps? Ooh, speaking of that, gonna have a little blasty blast here. ETH, Sol, and BTC. Shorts, longs. Ooh, both. Very excited. Sol looking good, you say? I'll give you this. It looks like we're around Stuberfib territory. I still don't know if I'd call it bullish though, because it basically hit TP1. This already played out. It hit TP1 and showing weakness already. As well, the oscillator down here, red continuation dot, red money flow cloud. I don't know. It still looks weak to me as well, personally. That's kind of messy. Not really seeing anything there. Trend collection. We got a sell signal there. Ugh. Yeah, I don't know. It's looking a little rough in my opinion. This is the daily chart. Hourly. What do we got? 5 minute. Let's really zoom in here. Yeah, I don't know. Me personally, yeah, look, there's some signs that it might be bottoming temporarily, but it still doesn't look great to me. I'd want to see a little more personally. I can't be bullish right now. Maybe it's just being stuck in my way right now. I'm stuck. Perma bear here. This is probably weird for you guys because I've been basically a perma bull since most of you guys have been here. Oh, actually, basically since I've been here, because I believe I started streaming in this community back around these levels, where I figured that the market was reversing, got one final flush with FTX, and then here I was confident that we had bottomed. So I've basically been a moon boy the whole time that I've been a part of this community. So this is the first time that I'm like feeling a serious reversal of some kind, whether it lasts or not, whether it's the full market cycle or not. We're gonna have to see, but Yeah, struggling. Solana struggling. Cat's pissed off. ETH, I can take a look at ETH. I haven't looked at ETH in a long time, actually. Oh, God. Basically, I'd be looking at wanting to reclaim something like that at least. What do we got going on here? You know, I'd consider this fib pull. We are technically at that big 786 right now. My only problem with this is not an actual Stuber fib setup, because this is not a higher high, right? We never did get higher than this high back here. So yes, it is a 786 fib, and quite often they do get a nice reaction. It's just I like to see it after a structure break, and this did not have it. So that's my only concern with that. Series of lower lows, lower highs. Lost this structure here. So yeah, that lower high is outlined by that. That's a, oops. The real lower high is way up here. It's at least a good sign if we get back above this little block here, but yeah, we really want to start closing back above these levels. You know, if we could get something like that, break that high, and then come back to a Stuber fib, that's where I would be more so looking at hedging longs. Just because I like to see that structure break and then the fib pullback. Usually on the pullback is when people start getting scared, but that's more so what I'm waiting for rather than FOMOing in. So in that case, I would consider hedging some longs on Ethereum, but right now I'm just personally not that interested. But the thing is, guys, as traders, we can trade both directions, and everyone has their own strategies that work for them. So, I mean, you can be playing longs, I can be playing shorts, and we can both be profiting. That's the beautiful thing about trading with leverage, right? Like, I'm not trying to shit on anyone's parade who is bullish, or let's say, you know, if you're better at playing long positions and you just can't short, but you can play longs even if you're just catching little bounces and scalping them, then you know what? So be it. Who am I to say that's wrong? Profit is profit. I've been full bear mode lately and it's been working out, but not everyone is. It does kind of look like this RSI is curling to the upside, so maybe we do get a little relief rally here. See if we can maybe even break above this level. If that happens, it'll close out that other quarter of my position. Then I'll be down to only half of it running from up here. I'm really just basically streaming and babysitting until that happens. But I mean, if it's never going to happen, eventually I'm going to have to wrap up here, you guys. Smallio, you want to share your screen at all? I know you already did a stream this morning. Oh, and right now maybe you don't want to. Oh, yeah. Yeah, you're way later than me. It's probably like 3 a.m. there or something. 4? Yeah. Okay. Yeah, never mind. Never you mind. What else can I see on Ethereum? Let's zoom out a little bit. Look at the... oh, God. I'm going to show a very obvious pattern here. But just looking at this uptrend here, look at where Ethereum's uptrend ended. Let's just start from, you know, here. Higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high. Oh god, I'm confusing myself now. Higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low. Here is one of the first on that immediate trend. Sorry, it gets a little confusing when you're microanalyzing each little move like that. But this is basically where that structure changed. And then, well, guess what happens? Let's go fib pull from top to where we bounced, and guess what we have there? 786, 886 fib, Stuber fib pocket. So, yeah, and that's a daily chart on Ethereum, you guys. So, like I said, these structure breaks, I've showed you on different coins, different time frames. I mean, structure is what structure is, and that's why I have a huge problem with Bitcoin's weekly chart right now. What's Ethereum's weekly chart actually? Let's remove some drawings here, clean everything up. What is this doing? Did Ethereum not break its all-time highs? I honestly didn't even know that. But you know what I'm going to say here. I actually don't think it quite made it to the 786, but oh yeah, there it is. You can't make this shit up. That is mad respect to that 786 fib, and that's Ethereum's weekly chart. So Ethereum, Bitcoin, they're kind of doing the same thing, right? Let's even look at this trend line. Just gonna look for exact touch points here. Boom, beautiful trend line. Oh boy, that's a weekly trend line for you on Ethereum. You cannot convince me that that close looks good. Orders getting yoinked. Oh boy. Yeah, nothing's looking good, fellas. Hate to be the bringer of bad news, the bearer of bad news, but here we are. That's funny, I'm funny. I'm not even a dad and I have those jokes. Oh yeah, like even with the RSI trying to curl to the upside, there's just like, even if we do get a break above this line, you can just see that there's obvious weakness here. The bulls are not excited. This is no V-shape recovery. Thanks for popping in there, Smallio. Have a great sleep. Yeah, well, what are some indicators? Oh god, what a sell signal by the indicator there as well. Anytime we got to that trend, yeah, man, that trend collection indicator, I in a choppy market, it's not so good, but what, well, I shouldn't even say that actually, because you can start to notice trends with it. Like one thing that I like to do is notice that, hey, if you're getting a buy signal and a higher buy signal, then I take it a little more serious because it's starting to show a bit of a trend. But when you have an actual strong trending market, this indicator makes some very nice calls. Very nice running positions, especially if you can get into a running position and then just kind of use this as invalidation. For example, you know, right now the invalidation level of this indicator is right at that lower high level that I have mapped out. So my stop loss is a little bit looser. What did I say, 388? Oh no, actually it was a little higher, 390 something. But yeah, just a little wiggle room above this. But again, just more confluence for my position right there. So love to see it. Yep. Well, if we break structure again. I think I'm just gonna wrap up the stream because I don't know when the 1 minute structure will even find enough strength to break. But let's see. Well, that position turned out a lot better than I had hoped. It's unfortunate I only put in half my, or sorry, not even half, a quarter of my position, because I was expecting some sort of a back test with a bearish divergence there to give me confidence in going a little heavier. Unfortunately, never got that, but glad I put something in, right? Started with a small position because if we would have just got invalidated right away, you know, that's a risk I was willing to take. But being we're in such a bearish trend, I was looking at this RSI as being overbought. And yeah, as soon as we took a pause, I just thought it looked weak and took a little gamble there. But yeah, I would have loved to get the rest of my position in had we done something like this. Test a Stuber fib with an RSI divergence. But yeah, the chart doesn't always give you exactly what you want, right? Yeah, guys, you know what? I've got some things that I should do. I'm gonna just hope that this keeps trending. I'll keep in touch with you guys in the Discord or whatever. But yeah, you know what my strategy is at this point. If, you know, right now this is our low, so if we set another lower low, then I'd be moving my lower high to the highest point between the two, right? Just totally depends how the market ends up forming that structure, because structure changes all the time, especially on shorter time frames like this. So I mean, it's very possible in the next 5 minutes this structure isn't the same anymore, right? So yeah, but that's basically what I'm doing. I already closed a quarter of my position earlier in the stream. I have another quarter of my position, which will be closing if it gets invalidated by breaking a higher or a lower high rather. And like I said, as structure changes, I'm going to be updating that as we go. So other than that, my friends, thank you so much for tuning in. Hopefully you guys found this stream useful. Hopefully there's some useful information for you there, and watching how I analyze things live like that. For those of you checking in on my YouTube channel, I do these live streams every Thursday, and I also, if you want to be a part of these live streams, actually, there is a 10% discount link down below in my description, and where I'm trading a couple exchanges with some deals and that sort of thing down below as well. But yeah, with that, I'm out. Stay safe, my friends. Peace.